I see. Ooh, yeah. Oh, Ruby. Dan ga je daar liggen. Hallo allemaal. Hi everyone. Welcome to another class. Welkom bij nog een yoga juf en nog een hatha les. Ruby, lig je daar lekker? Ruby komt er denk ik niet bij vandaag, want ze heeft een lekkere blanket gevonden. She found a nice little blanket to lay upon. Okay, it's a little chilly here. Het is een beetje kouder vandaag hier. So ik heb wat meer kleren aan. The practice van vandaag, today's practice will be more of a grounding nature. And so I hope you'll enjoy it. It's another full one again. So we'll start with centering and do our asana practice. And we will end with a systematic relaxation, a little different from before, and a guided meditation at the end. So for this practice, this time for deze les, you need a blanket and blocks. One block is probably enough, but definitely a blanket. For sure a blanket that you can roll up, een deken die je kan oprollen. Voor one of the poses, voor een van de poses die we gaan doen. Oké, laten we gewoon beginnen. Het is 1:05, dus het is tijd. So, we beginnen vandaag in Shavasana, in corpse pose. So, come to lay on your back and find your spot. Maybe just listen for a moment to all the sounds around you. Take those in. And if you're practicing outside, that could be a nice extra element and challenge to not let your focus move away from the breath, from your inward concentration today. So let's continue and maybe wiggle your feet, wiggle your hips, pick up your shoulders, let them come down. And then when you're ready, close your eyes and just let yourself feel the floor. Notice the support at your heels, your hips, your shoulders, and the back of your head. You're completely supported by the floor. So see if you can let go of any tension already. And then first, let's observe the breath. So just noticing it coming in and going out through the nose. Maybe it's yet a little fast because you've been running to catch my class, or just, running because you were finishing up the dishes after dinner. Or anyway, make sure you let your breath be whatever it is, it's fine. And it'll calm down once we get further in the class. So then start noticing the breath, pushing your belly up on the inhale. Exhaling, your belly resides back. Just noticing that movement. See if you can let that breath mostly be at your belly at this time. And if you feel any movement at your chest, Just realize that and just start focusing on your belly. And your breath will follow. Maybe you notice the extension or filling out of the breath in the lower back. Just trying to find a nice and easy, relaxed breath. And then go ahead and take your feet together and your hands behind your head, and then lift up your head, place it to the left, lift up your feet, place them to the left corner of your mat, and stay here in this banana shape for a moment. Let your feet be floppy. See if you can relax the shoulders. Take a few breaths here. Noticing the breath, trying to move into your right side body. Good, and then bring it all back to the middle, feet to the middle, head to the middle, and over to the right. So feet to the right corner of your mat. Lift your head and shoulders and move your torso a little to the right too. See if you can let go of the feet, can just be floppy. Very gentle stretch accommodated by the breath here on your left side body. Good, and then let's come back to the middle and let's just stretch it out. Stretch it out for a moment, just all the way up, all the way down, toes flexing, pointing. Good. All right, and let your arms come down and take the soles of your feet together. And then we're going to take another sort of thigh press. So take your block. Oops. Take your block. And put it the long way in between your thighs, like this. And our feet will be trying to come together. So see if you can get the big toes to touch, heels, sort of a little wider, but have the big toes touch. Good. Feel the block there in between your thighs. And we're just going to engage our thighs into the blocks, but with those feet close together, and you'll notice it right away. Just by holding it, you start to activate those inner thighs. But let's move with the breath. And we know it, with every exhale, squeeze into the block, and with your inhale, slowly release that pressure. So take a nice inhale, and let's do it together on the exhale. Press your thighs together. Inhale, slowly release. Maybe sometimes you will lose your block when you release. That can happen. See if you can let that release be really gradual, and it's hard. So you keep a little tension and you let go of that tension of the thighs gradually. Good, and then see if you can completely relax there at the end of the inhale. So let's go 3 more times. Exhale, squeeze. Notice also your lower back trying to push into the floor. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Push that lower back into the floor. Inhale, release. And you'll notice the little arching of the lower back happening too. And that's all natural. So inhale and exhale, squeeze for the last time. Push that lower back in. And exhale, release. Good, you must have been starting to feel that in your inner thigh. So now take the block out and put your feet back hip width together. So we found our inner thigh muscles. We now turn to the small side of the block and put it again back at our thighs. And we're just going to try and see not try and see, we're going to build the container, that's how they call it. And it's this engagement, you're starting with the press into the thighs into the block, and then try to see if you can lift your pelvic floor, push your lower back into the floor, and then also bring your belly button, engage around the belly button, and maybe roll up the shoulders and the hands, just like this. And that all on the exhale, and on your inhale, release the shoulders, release the belly, release everything. And on the next exhale, we go again. Thighs, pelvic floor, lower back into the floor, belly button engages, rolling up the shoulders and the head. And on your inhale, release. Good. Let's do this maybe 3 more times with your own breath. So take a nice inhale at the start, nicely down into the belly, and then on your exhale, start your engagement. Thighs, pelvic floor, lower back, belly button, and raise the shoulders, and inhale, release. Good. And exhale, here we go again. Squeeze and roll up, and inhale, release. One more time. Squeeze, roll up, exhale, inhale, release. I hope you felt that a little bit. It's all about trying to create a little more awareness here in the pelvis, the lifting of the pelvic floor, the pressing of your lower back into the floor, and then bringing it all together, sort of to the midline, holding it all together on your exhale and releasing on the inhale. Good. Now enough with that block. Let's take the block away. Yes, we can roll on our sides and come onto all fours. So let's come to all fours. I might take my socks off. Good. Here we go. So the next one, we'll just take a very normal classic cat-cows. Just a few to let that belly engagement go, because building the container is really working the core, starting to work the core. So take a few cat-cows, exhaling, rounding. Inhale, arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Good. Take 3 more with your breath. And the last one. Good. And then bring your back into a neutral position, so a little engagement there at the belly button. And we're going to just take wrist circles. So take some circles, pushing through the hands to the right. Keep that engagement there so that we're not making circles with the arch back like this, but really make it a neutral spine, belly button working towards the spine. Good. Circles to the right. And then let's go circles to the left, trying to strengthen our wrists here with those circles. And we'll do another exercise like that for the wrists. It's handy to have strong wrists, and especially in yoga when we're on our hands often. So here we go. Let's come back to center, and then what I would like you to try and do is keep that engagement in the lower abdomen, and then lift only the heels of your hands, just the heels. So look at me from the side, it'll look just like the heels. Your fingers stay on the mat, and that's what you'll do. So if you want to increase the intensity, but let's just find that movement. So just lifting the heels and placing them down. You'll start to notice the activation of the muscles there in your lower arm. And if it's too much in the beginning yet, because I'd like to do 10 in total, you can always bring your weight a little back and then lift up. Because the more you bring your weight forward, the more obviously there is weight pushing down that you need to lift with that knuckle push-up. So See how we go. I think we're good for now, so let's go of that. Maybe shake your arms out a little. This always feels nice, so a little massage around the wrists. At any time during the practice and you notice, oh, my wrists are a little angry, give them a little massage. Let me see. Yeah. So we're going to warm up a little bit more the core by coming into a forearm plank. Why not? Right? Let's just get it over with. So come onto your forearms. Curl your toes under. You can have your hands. Oh, you know what? Take a block and put it the wide side in between your fingers, just like this. So you have this L, sort of, with your hand, and then you put your hands just around it like that to shape it. And then we're going to curl those toes under and push up into a forearm plank. Let's start warming up that core a little bit. So really pushing through the arms. See if you can lift the lower abdomen, everything engaged. You can engage the buttocks and the hamstrings already. That makes the lift a little easier. Good. And at any moment when it's too much, please return to the mat with your knees down. But what I wanted to do next is we're going to push up again and then lift our legs and hold them up for just a few seconds. So if you're down, come back up again. So curl your toes under, push through the forearms, really lift that core up. And then let's lift the right leg for 3, 2, 1. Good. Keep pushing through the forearms and then lift your left leg up. 3, 2, 1. Good. And then return. Bring the knees down and let's move out a little. We can come into a normal plank. So bring your hands under your shoulders and you can always be in, well, whenever it gets too much, you can always lower the knees. Let me just keep it at that. So we were here in our forearm plank and we're going to shift now. Come to your knees. Take your hands where your elbows were and push up. Good. And then curl those toes under again and send the sit bones up, your buttocks up, sorry. And here we are in our first plank. Really lift there at the core that we engaged and found in our earlier build a container. See if you can relax the neck a little bit. Find an easy breath. Good. And then bring your knees down for a moment. We can come back to that again and lift the legs too. So we're really warming up those arms, warming up the core more. So let's come back onto our into our plank. So curl those toes under. Lift there at the belly button, engage that whole core, and then see if you can lift that right leg for 3, 2, 1. Put it down. Left leg up. 3, 2, 1. Good. So that was our warm up. When you're here, let's turn. So you're facing with your head to the short end of your mat. We're gonna open up. So let that left knee pivot around and send the right leg out. And we come into this gate pose for a little stretch here. After engaging that torso, let's take a stretch into gate pose. Good. And then bring your hand back, bring your knees back in, and then let's do it to the other side. So in this case, you'll be pivoting on that right knee, sending it like perpendicular to the length of your mat, and then take that left leg out, push through that right arm, and come here into gate pose. And you can take that arm over to really feel the stretch on the side body, but maybe you feel a little bit on the front too. Good. That's it. And then we're here, and we're going to push up into our first, down dog. So we're almost getting up to get ready for our standing poses. So curl those toes under and press through the hands. Press into your first down dog. And since it's the first, we're going to just take it easy a little here. Bending the legs alternately. Good. Good. Push through the hands. Wiggle around. Maybe let those knees curve in a little. Good. And then let's come up to our tippy toes. If you need to, take a nice bend in the knees so you can turn the sits bones up maybe a little higher. And then see if you can push the hips, push through the hands, push the hips back. And if you're ready, maybe you can lengthen through the legs all the way into the heels. And we definitely don't need to reach the mat with our heels yet. We only just started. And you don't need to get there at all. It's about the upside down. See if you can let go of the head, maybe relax the shoulders. Sometimes it helps to let a little tension go in the elbows, to let it go, and then maybe re-engage that push. Good. And now let's come forward into this hover position. Keep those knees up high. And then send it back into down dog. And just following the breath. Inhale down and then exhaling back. Just following your breath. Inhale to the hover. Exhale down to down dog. Inhale, hover. Exhale, down. Inhale. And exhale, press back. Take one more inhale and exhale to the back. Good. And then let's walk our feet to the middle and our hands together and come into a forward fold. See if you can really bend your knees nicely and then have your belly drape over your thighs. Let your head go. Good. And maybe it looks, you're here, you can't reach the thighs, that's totally fine, but see if you can then maybe bend the knees a little bit deeper. Let that head go. Good, and then take your hands to the waist, and we're going to come up slowly in 2 stages since we've been down with our head so much. So inhale, slowly come into halfway up. Exhale here and then inhale. Come for the rest of the part up. Good, and then we're up. Yes, I think we've done that. We've warmed up. Good. Let's come to the top of our mats and take one sun salutation straight through and notice how we feel. So let's come to the top of your mat and inhale, arms go up. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Halfway up and exhale, fold. Place your palms, step your right foot back, and maybe here in this low lunge, if you can, peek forward before you push back into your down dog. Good. Inhale to plank, exhale down to the floor. Inhale, little cobra, and exhale back to the floor. Push up, and you can always go via your knees like I just did, back into down dog. And then step your right foot up and your left foot. Let your head hang and then one nice big inhale. All the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. Let's go to the left. Inhale up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step your left foot back. And peek forward if you can. Come to your fingertips to make a bit more room. Maybe you're here, but have a little peek forward before you step back into your down dog. Inhale to plank, exhale down to the floor. Inhale, little cobra, exhale down to the floor. And push up and back into down dog. Step your left foot up and your right foot. Inhale all the way up and exhale, hands to heart. Good. Now stay here with your hands at your heart, maybe with your eyes closed. However you like to practice, or your gaze slightly down. Take your hands beside your body. Notice your feet. Notice the ball of your big toe, the ball under your tiny toe, the middle of your heel. Your hands, your palms are facing forward. Let's take a little shoulder roll to the back to open up a bit more through the chest. And our chin is a little tucked, just a little. So our neck is nice and long. Notice how you feel. Good, and then slowly open your eyes or take your gaze up and shake it, wake it, awaken it. We are coming into eagle pose, and eagle pose is a bit challenging, but I'm going to guide you through it. So come into like a mountain pose position, so both feet together. Let's first have the big toes touch. And then we're gonna bend the knees just a little bit. Let our hands be floppy next to the side for now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our right leg and take it over onto the left. So our right leg is then, our right toes are touching here on the left side of our left foot. So you either let it rest here on the floor, so you take a nice bend that makes it easier to come into. So you either let it rest here, or if you can see if you can bind behind. But this is perfectly fine. You're noticing that that working leg here, supporting leg, sorry, this one, working already. Good. Let's add the arms. So bring our arms forward, bend at the elbows, and let's take our left elbow under the right. Good. And then in this position, let's continue because our leg is burning. We're going to, with the inhale, arms go up. And exhale, bring them down. But let it be only small, so bring the elbows up and then lower down to the shoulder height for now. Inhale up and exhale, shoulder height. Good, unravel those arms, unravel that leg, and there you did your eagle pose. But you'll feel it in that standing leg indeed. Let's take it to the other side. So move your weight onto your right foot. Take a nice bend in the knees. Maybe I can show it like this too. Bend in the knees. Left leg goes over your right, so it finishes there on the right side of your right foot. Good. Take a nice. So you feel your foot. Find that stability. Find that breath. Good. And then take your arms forward. Bend at the elbows. And then right goes under and left is on top. Good. And we'll do the same with the breath. Inhale, elbows go up. Exhale, elbows down. Let's take 3 more. Good. And then come out, shake it out, shake that leg out. Perfect. Our eagle pose. I wanted to do it maybe one more time just to get those legs a little acquainted with it. So, but now let's not take the arms along. So, or we can actually, but we're not going to do the up and down movement. So, shift your weight to the left. Take a nice bend. Take that right foot over to the left side of your left foot. Good. Find your position here, nice deep bend. And then what you can do, if you either support it here or you're binding, especially when you're binding, see if you can lift up through the pelvic floor. So really engage around the buttocks. And you notice that working towards the midline really makes you more stable. And then let's just keep the hands maybe at the heart. See if you can find your breath. For 1 more. Good, and then unravel and come out. So shake that leg out. So that really helps with trying to shore up around the hips, so your buttocks, and even to try and feel the lifting of that. Try to lift your pelvic floor will help you stabilize in that position. So again, 1 more time on the other side. Shift your weight to the right. Take a nice bend in the knee. Take your left leg over. let it land either on the toes or bind it behind. Often when you want to bind, you want to maybe go a little deeper. Anyway, wherever you are, let your hands come into Namaste here, for example, and then see if you can squeeze those buttocks, lift the pelvic floor, have that engagement there in the lower abdomen. Good. And then see how it feels. Let your breath be nice and easy. Maybe you think, I'm going to put that toe right back on the floor. That's fine, totally fine. One more breath. Good. And push out and shake it out. I wonder, I hope, well, give me feedback if you're watching right now or later in the comments. I really appreciate feedback from you guys. So let me know what works and what doesn't work, or what is challenging and what you would like to practice more, obviously. So yes, let's continue. All nice standing, grounding poses. All standing poses are grounding, but especially the eagle one where we wrap everything towards the midline, both sides, and let's now let's open up the hips a little bit with tree pose. So another balancing one. So keep your feet together, shift your weight on your left leg, and then come to your tippy toe or releve, and then open your hip. Just open it to the side. So this is where you can stay in tree pose if you want to, just like this. It's about opening that one, opening the hips. So you either can stay here or you can have your foot at your calf, never on the knee, so either calf or up from the knee at your thigh. Good. So choose your variation. Here we go. Send your weight onto the left leg. Come up wherever you want to be with your foot. Here again, really feel that strong leg, that standing leg, really engaging around the hamstring, the glutes. That really helps with your balance. Good. And you can take your gaze for now about 6 feet in front of you, about 1.70 meters in front. Hands can be at the heart. And find your breath. If you want to change the arms, you can. You can always take the arms up like this. Or you can have a more open arm position. And to make it more challenging, you can always take your gaze up. See if you can still find a dristi, like a focal point, your focal point. Good. Keep those buttocks working, pelvic floor lifting. Good. And then bring your hands back. Bring that knee back in and shake it out. Hoo-ha. Good. Let's take it on the right side. So shift your weight onto the right. Come into your preferred tree position here. When you take it up here against your thigh, I've noticed what's really nice is, in any position, wherever you are, you want to feel that we're coming towards the midline. So even if you're here at your calf, you want to push that foot in, but you also want to sort of push back with your calf, with that standing leg. And even more you feel it and you need it when you bring it up here. To keep it all together, you're pushing that foot into your thigh, but you're also pushing that thigh back in. So we don't want to be hanging out like this. Oops, that's real hard. We don't want to be hanging. We really want to be pushing through that leg, lengthening up here through that hip, through the front of your hip. Lengthen that up by engaging those buttocks, pushing that foot there in your thigh, and then thinking about, maybe imagining, getting it all centered here around your pelvis, all your power, all your strength. And then again, hands at the heart, find your breath. You can always, of course, practice this next to a cupboard, at a wall, because obviously balance needs to be, It's something that you'll get better over with time and the more you do it. And now, and take your arms up if you want to, or close together if you can. If you have your arms up, make sure you can still relax the shoulders here. Good. Okay. Bring those hands down. If they were up, bring your knee back in and shake it out. Good. Ooh, I felt that. Good. Let's continue with the sun salutation, and I'll lead you through a low lunge with a twist. So come to the top of your mat. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, fold forward, feel the nice stretch in the back legs, maybe, but when you come down, take a nice bend. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, plant your palms, step your right foot back and your right knee down, and immediately engage around your pelvis and swoosh those arms up. Arms next to your ears, pressing through that front foot, pressing through that back foot, and maybe take your first back bend here. Find your breath. Little back bend, nothing big. Good, and then bring your arms back. And let's push back up. We're going to stay up here. We're going to take our twist. So take your hands to your sternum, take your right elbow and set it to the outside of your left knee for a twist here in low lunge. Low lunge with the knee down, because if you want to, you can curl that back foot under if you feel up for it, but really be conscious of the working your buttocks and your thighs together, and then see if you can send that back leg out. But totally fine. Twist purposes, this is perfectly fine. See if you can lift a little there in the lower belly to make a bit more room, and then maybe twist a little more around the spine. Find your breath. Good, and then come back to the middle, frame your foot, step back into down dog, come forward into a plank, exhale down to the floor, inhale, little cobra, and exhale back to down dog. Step your right foot up and your left foot, and a nice big inhale, by the side, arms up, exhale down. Good. Let's take it on the left. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, fold. Step your left foot back and take your left knee down to the floor. Back of your foot to the floor. Very good. Swoosh those arms up. Engage around the hips. See if you can, don't forget about the lower abdomen. Maybe you're a bit far here. Bring it back a little by engaging that lower abdomen. Good. And maybe we'll want to take a back bend here, so lengthen up first, to then take a little back bend. You can always bring your chin a little back, but keep your chin a little more towards towards your chest, but keep your eyes up. And relax the shoulders. Good, and then come back with the arms, but push back up again, because we're going to do that twist here. So hands to heart, left elbow goes to the right side of your knee. See if you can find a bit more room by really lifting up in the lower belly. Lifting up in the lower belly here. And of course, yogi's choice, you can always curl those back toes under and press up into a low lunge with a twist. Or you're here. Finding your breath. Good, and then slowly turn forward, frame your front foot, press back into down dog. Inhale, step your left foot up. Oh, so sorry. Inhale, come to your plank. Exhale, down to the floor. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, back to down dog. And left foot up. And your right foot up to meet it. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Very good. Now notice again how you feel here in mountain pose. Standing strong, feet well in contact with the floor. Maybe lift your toes for a moment and put them back. Notice how you feel. Come back to your belly breath. Good, and then slowly open your eyes and we are going to roll down. We're going to roll down, so we're going to take our gaze up and we're going to take our chin to chest. We're just going to roll slowly through our vertebrae. All the way down, bending our knees nicely whenever we need to. And then let's walk it back. Let's come back right away into a down dog, or come to all fours, however you want to get there from your body roll down. Come to all fours. And we're going to get ready for our active inversion part. So we're going to do a three-legged dog, kind of, lifting the leg as we did earlier on too, but now in down dog. So we're going to curl the toes under, send the hips backward, and just notice now, maybe you feel a difference in this down dog here, since we've been moving about. Good. All right, so really press through the hands, and then let's lift that right leg up, as if there's a wall behind you, as if you're stamping that foot into the wall. If you got paint on your foot, you make a nice footprint on that wall. Try to push equally through both hands. Maybe shake your neck a little bit. Good. Find your easy breath. And then bring that leg down. Good. We're going to stay in down dog, but we're going to lift right away. I won't keep you here too much longer. So take that left leg up and stamp with that foot into that back wall, imaginary back wall. Good. Push through the hands. Stay here for 4 more breaths if you can. Otherwise, return to all fours and push back into child's pose. See if you can keep that breath nice and easy, even though maybe your shoulders are burning. Your buttocks is burning. Your left buttock. Good, and your next inhale and exhale, release that leg to the bottom, to the mat, and then come back to all fours, and now press back into your child's pose. And you can bring your arms backward again to let the shoulders release, arms release. Taking 5 more breaths here in child's pose. Good, and then bring those arms back under your shoulder height, and then to roll up before you to come up. See if you can initiate from the belly button. So engage that belly button, pull that belly button a little towards the spine, and then roll yourself up slowly from our inverted action. Good. Hope that didn't leave you dizzy. That's why we do the child's pose afterward, after such an inverted action. So take your time in that child's pose to really regain and refocus on your breath, and making sure we don't get dizzy. Yes, I think we're going to do. Oh, I did mention, I hope, that you needed a blanket or anything that you can roll up. So I wanted to show you, we're gonna do a fish pose, and that's on our backs, but it's a supported fish pose. And for that, we're gonna roll up a blanket, the length of your torso and head it should be. So you, like me, if you have this, roll up your blanket like a good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sit back on our seat, and we're going to take that blanket and bring it at the bottom of our spine here, and then we're going to lay back over it with our spine, so like in the middle, and our head also needs to fit on it. Okay, so this is a supported fish. So first you have your legs here, but we're going to send the legs out. Send the legs out and have the feet sort of active, and the arms are just opening up to the sides. And what I want you to feel is this relaxation of the shoulders and the two sides of your back on either side of that roll. So you're draping your two sides of your back over the blanket roll. And this pose we can gradually increase, but I wanted to start here with the blanket roll from the bottom of your spine all the way up, also supporting your head. Feeling the backs of your legs in the mat. Opening on the front. And a gentle back bend. See if you can come back to your breath, maybe even noticing the breath at your nostrils. Let's take 3 more breaths here in this supported fish. Good, and then to help yourself come out of this, first bring the knees up, good, and then roll slightly to one side and take the blanket out from under you, the roll, and then come back in this position. Move your feet to the outside, to the borders of your mat, and then take a few windshield wipers. Good. And after those windshield wipers, we're going to come back to the middle and bring our feet together and bring your knees in. And let's come into a happy baby here, wherever your arms can reach. Classically, it's the outside of the feet, but if you can't, make sure your sacrum is, flat on the floor, then let your arms come down and hold maybe at your the backs of your knees. Or the ankles. Good, and then bring the soles of your feet together for our reclined butterfly. But you can keep the feet up here. So have the soles of the feet come together. Your whole back is flush with the floor, holding at the ankles, stretching the inner thighs. Good, and then bring those knees back together, and we're going to roll to our side and come up to seated. Let's come up to seated for, come into your easy seat. We're going to come here for a twist. You can always put that blanket that you just used under your buttocks if that feels better in easy seat, to help out your lower back, so that we don't collapse in our lower back, but we're nice and lifted still from the sits bones up. And we're going to come to this simple seated twist. Take our left hand, bring it to our right knee, take our right hand behind, see if we can lengthen on an inhale, and on an exhale we twist from the waist, rib cage, shoulders, and then the neck. Good, and maybe let's try on the next inhale to lengthen, and really on the exhale, engage. Bring that lower belly in and your belly button in, and see if you can twist a little more just around the spine. Good, and then on your next inhale, lengthen, and exhale, slowly come out, and let's do it to the left. So our right hand goes to our left knee, left comes back around. Try and sit nicely on top of your sits bones, and let's twist to the left. So, and I say from the waist, because we want to make sure our hip bones are, throughout the whole twist, our hip bones are still shining forward. So if we had little flashlights here, they wouldn't go to the left with you, but they would stay in front. So take your right hand to your left knee, left hand comes behind, hips are forward, and so we twist from the waist, and then the rib cage, and then the shoulders. And if it feels good, take your head along over your shoulder. And let's see on another inhale to lengthen just a little, grow just a little taller, and on your exhale, see if you can just ring around that spine a little more. But don't push it. Just see if there's a little ways more to go. Make room with that breath. On your exhale, see if you can find some more room to twist. Good, and on your next inhale, lengthen up, and slowly on your exhale, come forward. Very good. Also a very grounding and very classic pose is the staff pose. So with our legs out in front, the backs of our legs make nice contact with the floor. Our feet are active, so we're lifted. Also here, again, don't be shy. You can always, because it's hard to sit like this. It takes time to be able to roll over those sits bones and sit straight up. So please take something to sit on if you need to help out your lower back, and then lengthen the legs like that. Active feet. Inhale, our arms come up, feeling those calves pressing into the mat, and then hinging from the hips with a straight back first. Let's sit here for a moment. Find your breath. And on your next inhale, lengthen maybe a little longer with those arms. And on your exhale, let the arms come down. And let's see if we can reach for the toes with our hands or wherever we are on the legs. Make sure your elbows are relaxed. We're gonna round through the spine here, folding forward. And in this forward fold, see if we can relax our face, cheeks, jaw, mouth, as if you don't have an expression on your face at all. Just let it hang. Start to notice the breath at your nose, the subtle breath, a little chilly and dry on the way in. And on the way out, maybe you notice that you hardly notice the breath go out. Nicely acclimated to your body. A little more moist, a little more warm. In this forward, you can do that too. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that too. So let's all do that. Let's bring the knees a bit more in and maybe the feet back to the mat, and then let your head hang. Feel that belly on your thighs. Relax your head. Then maybe curl up in a little more of a ball. So bring those feet even closer into your buttocks. Now you're really a little ball. And again, let your neck relax and your head fall down, either with the help of your wrists, wherever you are, hugging into a little ball. Notice the breath in your belly expanding into your upper thighs. And in this position, you might also notice on the inhale the expansion of your breath in your whole back. Good, and then slowly bring your head out from that little bowl, and we are going to make our way, yes, we're going to go towards our supported bridge for a moment, to then come into Shavasana, and I will guide you through this point-to-point breathing throughout your body, very relaxing technique. So first, let's come into our supported bridge. So grab your block, come to your back, oopla, and then lift your hips up. And if you have the block figured out, where is the right position for you, then curl your shoulders under and take your feet and knees up to the ceiling. Again, see if you can relax the face and start noticing the breath at your nose. Let's take 3 more breaths so we can then continue Here in your inverted action, okay, it's going to be a few more breaths. Notice your hips really supported by the block. Notice your hips resting. With every exhale, notice your hips just resting, getting more heavy, relaxing down. Good, and then take your feet back down. Take your, not too many birds, but there's a few birds today. It's much more cloudy and chilly. So take that block out. Notice how your back feels. Good, and then let's continue and make your way down into Shavasana. Something under your knee, the backs of your knees, for example. Socks on. Today is a sock day. Oh gosh. And here I come. And maybe something under your head. And in the Shavasana part and the relaxation part, your body temperature will definitely drop. Now, we didn't do super intense stuff today that made us like super warm or anything. Or maybe I'm imagining it because I'm losing all my heat here in the relatively chilly circumstances. But because we don't want to have our body temperature drop too much, that's why we get comfortable, get the blankets out, put a sweater on, put our socks on. So our body is not distracted by any temperature changes. So go ahead and come into Shavasana, make yourself comfortable. Again, wiggle those ankles, hips, pull the shoulders up and let them come down. And let's first return to that belly breath. Just focusing on your breath. And once you've noticed your breath is, you have your focus back on your breath. And then we're going to take our awareness and bring it to the top of our head. And on, and we take a nice inhale. And on the exhale, we go all the way down. Exhale as if we're exhaling all the way down to our toes. So thinking of your toes all the way there. Your exhale. Inhale, back up to the crown. Exhale down to the toes. Inhale to the crown. Inhaling up. Exhaling down to the ankles. Inhaling up, down to your knees. Inhaling up, down to your pelvis. Inhaling up, down to your navel center. Inhaling up and down to your heart. Inhaling up to the crown, exhaling to your throat. Inhaling up and down to the middle of your brain behind your eyes. And then on your next inhale, all the way up again, or not all the way, it's a tiny little piece in a way. Inhale to the crown and exhale back to your throat. Inhale up, exhale down to your heart. Inhale up and down to your navel center. Inhale up and down to your pelvis. Inhale up and down to your knees. Inhale up and down to your ankles. Inhale up and down to your feet. All the way down into your tippy toes. And then feel as if you're breathing with your whole body. So inhaling up and exhaling all the way down. Fill out every little crook and nanny, crook and nanny. I don't know, every little corner of your body. And then let's take a few deeper breaths. So really fill up the belly, but also your chest, all the way under your collarbones, and then exhale all the way. One more bigger breath in. Fill the belly, fill your chest, fill under your collarbones, and let it all go. Last one like that. Inhale. Belly fills up. Chest fills out. All the way under those collarbones, and sigh it all out. Good, and then Start wiggling your feet and your fingers. And then bring your knees up. Good. And then let's roll to the side to come up. Come up for a little moment. Yeah, we have 2 more minutes. Let's see if we can come into a nice comfortable upright position. Either easy seat or ankles in front of each other, however you sit. Or you sit on a chair if you've had enough of the floor and the mat. And then just see if you can find that little lift here in the lower abdomen, lengthening through the lower back. Find this nice upright position. Hips a little higher than the knees if possible, so sit on something. Let your hands rest, eyes closed, shoulders relaxed. And let's see if we can find the breath at our nose again, and just notice the movement of the breath at your nostrils, at the nose. And don't think much about the breath, just let it be nice and easy. Noticing the sensations at the nose, in your nostrils. And even though if there are noises around you, come back to your breath. If there is thoughts creeping in, your to-do lists, just try and focus a little longer just on your breath at the nose. Good, and then bring your hands to your heart, fold forward to seal in the benefits of today's practice, and then come up. Namaste. Hope it was a good practice for you. A little different, a little more laid back. But hope it made you feel a little better than before you started it. And you can go on your merry way or straight away into your bed. Anyway, thank you for joining, and like I said before, let me know if you have any suggestions or comments or suggestions maybe for other classes. Let me know, and hope to see you next time. Thank you very much. Have a good day. En jij was de grote afwezige, hè, Ruby? Ja, lag je lekker hier. Jij lag hier lekker te wezen. Hm?